You ever notice how everyone keeps saying, we need better education, but nobody actually wants to learn anything? They just want the certificate that says they did. The paper, the ribbon, the handshake, that's what matters. Doesn't matter if you learned your multiplication tables or how to spell multiplication. As long as the diploma looks shiny, the brain can stay on vacation. That's America for you, land of the free, home of the distracted. People used to learn because they were curious. Curiosity was a survival instinct. You wanted to know how fire worked or how to build a roof that didn't leak. Now, curiosity is a hazard. It might interrupt your scrolling. We've trained an entire generation to think learning means clicking, I agree. Education used to be about exploring ideas. Now it's about memorizing answers somebody else already Googled for you. And the schools, the schools, they become giant babysitting warehouses with bells. You ever see a modern classroom? It looks like a daycare with algebra. Everyone's talking about innovation, but they're still using the same textbooks from the year your grandfather had hair. And they're proud of it. We updated the math program. Yeah, you changed the font on the same bad problems. The teachers, bless their souls, they're trying. But how do you compete with a glowing rectangle in every kid's pocket? You're up there with chalk and a sense of duty. And the kids in the back watching a hamster drive a miniature car. You can't beat that. You can quote Shakespeare all day. That hamster still got better engagement metrics. And the parents, they're no help either. They think buying a tablet counts as tutoring. Oh, he's learning shapes. Lady, that's not geometry, that's Candy Crush. Parents used to ask what their kid learned at school. Now they ask what the Wi-Fi password is. They don't want kids to think, they want them to pass. Because thinking is dangerous, it makes people ask questions. Questions like, why is my government run like a reality show? Or why is my job interview in a coffee shop with a man wearing sneakers? See, the education system doesn't want thinkers. It wants participants, quiet, obedient participants who can spell productivity, but don't notice they don't have any. The system's not broken, it's working exactly as designed. You think they want a nation of poets and philosophers. Hell no. They want you smart enough to push buttons, but dumb enough to believe commercials. That's the balance. Push the button, buy the product, shut up. We've replaced wisdom with trivia. You can ask people about the capital of France, and half of them don't know. But ask them who got kicked off some singing show last night. They'll give you the full biography. Education used to mean expanding your mind. Now it just means filling your head with louder nonsense. They teach facts, not truth. You can memorize 1,000 facts and still not know anything. Knowing that water boils at 100 degrees doesn't help if you can't cook pasta without burning it. And we love standardized tests. Nothing says we care about learning like filling little circles with a pencil. It's not education, it's a nationwide guessing game, a multiple choice circus. You could replace half the students with trained pigeons and get the same scores. Kids don't learn to think critically anymore. They learn to think temporarily. They learn enough to forget it right after the test. That's the goal: temporary memory, permanent obedience. Ever read a school mission statement? We aim to prepare students for the future. Yeah, what future? The one that ended 10 years ago? Schools still teach kids how to balance a checkbook. Nobody even uses checks. You could tell a teenager to write a check and they'd ask, is that an app? They teach you the square root of numbers you'll never use, but skip over how taxes actually work. That's not an oversight. That's a design feature. Then there's the homework, the sacred torture. You spend 8 hours in school pretending to care about geometry, and then they send you home with 3 more hours of the same nonsense. That's not education, that's unpaid overtime. And they say it builds discipline. Yeah, so does boot camp, but at least you get a uniform and 3 meals. And we grade everything like life is a scoreboard. Johnny got an A. Johnny can't change a tire or cook an egg, but he can recite the names of every president in order. That'll come in handy when he's unemployed, won't it? He can impress the guy at the unemployment office. Wow, you know who was president in 1889? Great! That'll help when the printer jams. Oh, in the universities. Oh, they've turned stupidity into an industry. They sell education like it's perfume. Prestigious degree, only 80 wah! You're not buying knowledge, you're buying a logo for your R.A. Sume. You could learn the same stuff at a public library for free, but nobody takes selfies with library cards. They take pictures of dorm rooms like they're moving into greatness. You're not moving into greatness, kid. You're moving into debt. And what do these colleges teach? Courses like the sociology of breakfast. They're not producing scholars, they're producing experts in nothing. You leave school knowing how to analyze the symbolism of toast, but not how to pay your rent. Then you get a job making copies for someone who dropped out and started a business selling coffee to other people who are too tired from pretending to be successful. And through it all, everyone keeps saying, kids today are smarter than ever. No, they're just faster at being confused. They can type 1,000 words a minute, but half of them are emojis. You ask them what the Declaration of Independence is, and they'll tell you it's a band. But they can recite every character from their favorite cartoon universe. Education is supposed to prepare you for life, not trivia night. We used to teach people how to think. Now we teach them what to think. There's a big difference. How makes you curious? What makes you obedient? That's why we've got a country full of people who can argue passionately about things they don't understand. They've got opinions by the bucket, but ideas by the teaspoon. They learned how to repeat, not reason. And don't even get me started on school assemblies. Be yourself. Believe in your dreams. Then they hand you a uniform and a rule book. They don't want you to believe in your dreams. They want you to believe in deadlines. Individuality is great until it interrupts the curriculum. You can't even draw outside the lines anymore. That's a behavioral issue. Remember when kids used to ask, why? They don't anymore. Why? Got replaced with whatever. Curiosity got traded for convenience. Why think when you can copy? Why read when you can skim? Why understand when you can agree? The new American dream isn't freedom, it's comfort. Just enough knowledge to get through the day without being too aware of how dumb everything's become. And it's not like people forgot how to learn. They just forgot why. We made learning feel like punishment. Sit down, be quiet, raise your hand, don't move, repeat after me. You do that for 12 years and curiosity becomes a disease. They've turned education into obedience training with a lunch break. The only skill that really matters anymore is pretending to care. Then we blame the kids for being lazy. But who raised them? Who built the world where attention is currency? Who invented a system that values appearance over substance? We did. Adults built the amusement park and then complained the kids stopped reading philosophy. Of course they did. You surrounded them with blinking lights and soda machines. Curiosity doesn't stand a chance in that circus. Even adults are worse off now. You can't have a serious conversation anymore without someone checking their phone halfway through. I'm listening, they say, while scrolling through nonsense.
Yeah.
That's how civilizations end, multitasking through their own downfall. People used to remember facts, now they remember passwords. You want to see panic, don't start a fire, just take away the Wi-Fi. Suddenly people forget how to function. The whole thing's hilarious if it weren't so sad. We're the first civilization to have infinite information and zero understanding. We've got libraries the size of the planet, but no one reads past the headlines. And those headlines, designed to keep you dumb and excited at the same time. Education used to be about awakening the mind. Now it's about managing the crowd. You ever wonder why people cheat in school? Because the system teaches them to. It says the only thing that matters is the grade. So they learn to fake success early. They're preparing for the adult world where you smile in meetings and die a little inside, and the schools reward it. Johnny's resourceful. No, Johnny's dishonest and efficient. Perfect candidate for middle management. We tell kids to follow their passion, but then we test them into submission. You can't find passion in a Scantron sheet. Passion needs space. But space doesn't fit in a schedule. We've made learning mechanical. You feed the machine, it spits out a grade, and you pretend that's growth. We're breeding parrots, not thinkers. The only difference is parrots know when to stop talking. And the thing is, nobody really complains, because deep down, people like it this way. A dumb population is easier to entertain. They don't revolt, they vote. They don't challenge, they cheer. They don't think, they react. And as long as you keep the lights bright and the slogans catchy, nobody notices they've been trained instead of taught. It's funny when you think about it, the whole country obsessed with the smart devices and smart systems, but nobody asked if the people running them are smart. You've got a smart fridge, a smart phone, a smart TV. Meanwhile, you can't remember your neighbor's name. We've surrounded ourselves with intelligence so we can safely ignore our own. And through all of it, we keep pretending progress means improvement. More data, more devices, more distractions. That's not progress, that's noise. True learning is quiet, it's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, and that's exactly why nobody does it anymore. We don't want knowledge, we want confirmation. We don't seek truth, we seek agreement. The goal isn't to understand, it's to belong. So we end up with classrooms full of kids staring at screens, teachers buried in paperwork, parents glued to their own gadgets, and a society that measures intelligence by how well you repeat slogans. We've built a world where you can graduate without ever discovering who you are. And when you finally do figure it out, you realize the real lesson wasn't in the classroom at all. It's out here in the chaos, the contradictions, the comedy of it all. Because maybe the only thing left to learn is how to laugh while everything gets dumber. And remember that thinking, real thinking, is the last rebellion left. You ever notice how everything in America is about making life easier, but somehow everyone's more exhausted than ever? We've created a nation of people who can't even wait for toast without checking their watches. It's all about convenience. We want everything now. Not soon, not later now. We used to wait for coffee to brew. Now, if it takes more than 10 seconds, we call it a tragedy. We're a country that gets angry at microwaves. Think about that. We yell at a machine because it takes 30 seconds to make dinner. That's where we're at. Convenience has become the new religion. Forget temples, churches, cathedrals. We worship the drive-through window. People pray to it every morning. Please let there be no line. We built an entire culture around having to move. Don't want to walk, drive. Don't want to drive, deliver. Don't want to cook, reheat. We used to call it laziness. Now we call it innovation. We've managed to rename sloth as progress. You look around, everything's got a quick version. Quick meals, quick workouts, quick relationships. Even self-improvement comes in 5 easy steps. Everything's quick except the people because they're all stuck waiting for something else to finish downloading. The more convenient life gets, the less capable people become. Used to be, if something broke, you fixed it. Now, if something breaks, you buy a new one and complain that doesn't work out of the box. We've got a generation of people who think patience is a software bug. They can't even wait for a web page to load without feeling personally insulted. Why is it taking so long? Because the universe doesn't revolve around your thumb, that's why. People used to wait weeks for a letter. Weeks! Now, if a text takes more than 5 seconds to deliver, we assume the person's dead. Convenience has become so important that we've forgotten how to live without it. You take away a person's remote control, and they'll stare at the TV like it's a locked treasure chest. We've created technology that does everything for us, except make us happy. We've got automatic doors, automatic lights, automatic soap dispensers, everything automatic except common sense. And it's not like people actually enjoy convenience anymore. They depend on it. They can't survive without it. You ask someone to read a map, they look at you like you just handed them a dead language. Nobody knows where anything is anymore because they've been trained to follow a voice that says, turn left. If that voice disappeared, half the country would still be driving in circles looking for the meaning of life, recalculating. And food, food's the ultimate example. We used to cook. Real cooking, ingredients, time, love. Maybe a recipe your grandmother remembered from the old country. Now it's all about instant. Instant noodles, instant coffee, instant gratification. We've replaced the smell of cooking with the beep of a microwave. Dinner used to be a ritual. Now it's a transaction. Press button, consume. You don't even sit down to eat anymore. You stand over the counter like a raccoon with bills to pay. Fast food became a lifestyle. We don't eat because we're hungry. We eat because we're bored and the wrapper's shiny. And we brag about it too. I got my lunch in 45 seconds. Yeah. And you'll spend the next 45 years paying for it, one artery at a time. Everything's faster, cheaper, easier, except your health, your attention span, and your sense of purpose. Those are running on low battery. Even our conversations are fast food. People don't talk anymore. They exchange sound bites. You can't have a discussion because everyone's just waiting for their turn to speak. The whole language has been reduced to catchphrases, slogans, and abbreviations. It's not communication, it's data transfer. People used to write letters, now they send acronyms. We've gone from poetry to LOL. Humanity's entire emotional vocabulary compressed into 3 letters and a smiley face. And we love convenience so much we even want our emotions simplified. You can't even have a real argument anymore. Too much effort. People don't fight, they unfriend. They don't talk it out, they mute. Conflict resolution used to mean conversation. Now it's clicking a button. We're not solving problems, we're deleting reminders of them. The funniest part. All this convenience was supposed to give us more time. Save time? That's the slogan. Save time so you can enjoy life. And what do people do with all that time they save? They waste it. They fill it with nonsense. You save 20 minutes by ordering pizza online and then spend 3 hours scrolling through garbage you don't care about. Yeah. We don't save time, we just reallocate it to stupidity. Everything's got to be simple, smooth, user-friendly, and we've become allergic to effort. You ever see someone try to open a jar? It's a whole crisis. It's too tight. It won't open. That's because you've never gripped anything but a phone. Buddy, you've got the muscle tone of a dictionary page. We built a society so soft that twisting a lid is a workout. We call it convenience, but it's really fragility. People say, technology makes life easier. Yeah, maybe. But it also makes people stupider. You can't even remember your own phone number. You used to know your whole family's numbers by heart. Now, if your phone dies, so do your relationships. We've traded memory for comfort. It's like mental laziness has become a survival skill. And the companies know it. They sell convenience like it's enlightenment. Don't lift a finger. That's their slogan. Well, what happens when you stop lifting fingers? They forget how to work. They've turned laziness into a marketing plan. You've got everything smart lights, smart fridges, smart thermostats, all designed to make you feel smarter while making you less capable. The fridge is ordering milk while you forget how to spell milk. Convenience has even invaded our sense of self. We don't grow, we upgrade. Don't improve your life, install a new version. We treat ourselves like software. I'm working on a new me version 2.0. Yeah, great, but you still can't change a tire. Everyone's obsessed with optimization, but nobody wants effort. They want the results of growth without the discomfort of trying. And this obsession with convenience has made everything disposable. If something's inconvenient, throw it away. Friendships, jobs, marriages, all disposable. Why work on it when I can get a new one? We used to fix things because we valued them. Now we just replace them because we don't. We've turned relationships into subscription services, cancel anytime. Even entertainment's gotten lazy. People don't explore, they binge. Remember when you had to wait a week for the next episode? That was suspense. Now, if it doesn't autoplay in 5 seconds, people get anxiety. Where's the next one? Patience has been deleted. The art of waiting has been replaced by buffering. You can't build anticipation anymore because everyone's too busy needing instant closure. And convenience has made us dumb shoppers too. People buy things they don't need just because it's easy. It's on sale. And they deliver. Great, another box of junk for the pile. We've got people living in cluttered houses filled with convenient mistakes. We don't own things anymore. Things own us. The delivery truck might as well be your roommate. And travel, oh, that's the best. People say they love traveling. No, they love arriving. Traveling is the inconvenient part. They want the destination without the journey. They want to see the world without leaving their comfort zone. They pack 5 suitcases for a weekend trip and still complain about the hotel Wi-Fi. People don't travel to experience life. They travel to confirm that every place looks just like the brochure. Convenience killed adventure. Nobody gets lost anymore. Getting lost was beautiful. You discovered things. Now, if you miss a turn, a voice tells you you're wrong. Recalculating, life's not supposed to be recalculated. It's supposed to be experienced. You used to ask strangers for directions, make connections, tell stories. Now you follow a robotic voice that doesn't even say please. We've automated curiosity out of existence. Even nature's been redesigned for convenience. Glamping. You heard of that. Glamorous camping. Because apparently sitting under the stars is too difficult unless you have an air mattress and Wi-Fi. People want to connect with nature, but only if there's an outlet nearby. The wilderness used to humble you. Now it's a background for selfies, and people brag about their convenience. Look at my new gadget. It saves me 5 minutes a day. Great. What are you doing with the 5 minutes? Probably wasting them looking for more gadgets. We've become addicted to convenience the way people used to be addicted to cigarettes. The first puff feels good, but then you can't stop. You need more, faster, easier. And before you know it, you've outsourced your entire existence to a collection of plastic rectangles. The irony is convenience was supposed to free us, but it trapped us instead. We don't control it, it controls us. We work harder than ever to afford machines that promise to make life easier. People used to work for food and shelter, now they work for upgrades. You're not living the dream, you're leasing it one app at a time. And it's all built on the illusion of control. With this device, you're in charge. No, you're not. You're dependent. You can't even start your car without a chip that costs more than your rent. We used to fear losing freedom. Now we fear losing convenience. Freedom's complicated, but convenience, that's smooth. No friction, no thought, no responsibility. We don't even realize what we've lost. We used to value craftsmanship. Now we value speed. We used to admire patience. Now we mock it. We used to take pride in doing things ourselves. Now we brag about finding shortcuts. We've traded satisfaction for efficiency, meaning for convenience. We've streamlined our souls, and yet people wonder why they're miserable. I've got everything I need. Yeah, but nothing you love. Convenience gives you what you want before you even know if you want it. It's like living on autopilot. You're not choosing. You're accepting. You're not alive. You're available. You've got all the time in the world and no idea what to do with it. And we keep inventing more ways to avoid effort. Every year there's a new gadget, a new shortcut, a new way to make sure you never have to do anything the hard way again. But maybe the hard way was the point. Maybe effort's what made things meaningful. Maybe we got so obsessed with comfort we forgot that struggle is what gives life flavor. Because if everything's easy, nothing's worth it. You can't appreciate a warm meal if you never cooked it. You can't enjoy success if it came prepackaged. You can't grow if everything's smooth. Life's supposed to be inconvenient. That's where the lessons are. That's where the laughter is. And maybe that's why everything's getting dumber, because we've stopped doing anything that makes us think. We've built a society that can't tell the difference between convenience and progress. We think faster means better, easier means smarter, and comfort means happiness. But all it really means is we've made the world so simple we've forgotten how to live in it. So here we are, surrounded by machines that do everything except remind us we're human. The future's not going to be filled with robots taking over. It's going to be filled with people acting like them. Because if you take away effort, you take away character. And without character, all the convenience in the world won't make life any easier. It'll just make it emptier. You ever feel like the world's turned into one giant open mic night for idiots? Every day, it's like reality's testing new material. You wake up, check the news, and it's just one punchline after another, except nobody's laughing on purpose. The whole planet's a comedy club where the audience forgot it's a joke. You can't even make this stuff up anymore. Life writes better jokes than any comedian ever could. All you got to do is open your eyes, or better yet, open your bills. Everything's collapsing in the most entertaining way possible. The lights are flickering. The roof's leaking. The band's still playing, and everyone's posting selfies. We used to have tragedies. Now we have bloopers. Civilization's fallen apart, but at least it's doing it with flair. It's like watching a clown juggling knives. You know it's going to end badly, but you can't look away. And when the knives drop, we all go, hey, that was fun. People act like it's shocking that everything's getting worse. Of course it is. We've been running this circus for centuries, and the clowns are still in charge. Every generation thinks they're smarter than the last, but somehow the instructions for common sense never make it through. You'd think after a few thousand years of trial and error, we'd have figured out how not to step on the same rake every time. But nope, we keep doing it, only now we tweet about it. The truth is dumbness has momentum. Once it starts rolling, it doesn't stop. It picks up speed like a shopping cart on a hill. One guy does something stupid, then another one copies it, and before you know it, it's a trend. We've managed to industrialize stupidity. There's no shortage. You can't run out of it. You could power the entire country on bad decisions alone. And the funny thing is, people don't even try to hide it anymore. It used to be, you made a mistake, you kept quiet, maybe tried to learn something. Now people brag about it. Yeah, I don't know anything about history. They say it like it's an accomplishment. Ignorance has become a form of self-expression. You don't have to know, you just have to feel. Feelings are the new facts. You don't need evidence, you need confidence. Say it loud enough and you're an expert. That's the beauty of the collapse. It's democratic. Everyone gets to participate. You don't have to qualify, you don't have to study. Just show up and be loud. Everyone's opinion is valid, even when it's clearly not. We used to have debates. Now we have shouting contests. Logic packed its bags years ago, and nobody even noticed it left. And it's not just politics or schools. It's everywhere. Every field's infected. You got people giving life advice who can't manage their own lives, fitness gurus who can't climb stairs, financial experts who live on credit, motivation speakers who need naps between sentences. We live in the golden age of hypocrisy, and it's hilarious. Everyone's pretending to be something, and nobody's qualified for anything. People used to have shame, not anymore. Now they've got hashtags. They don't learn from mistakes, they brand them. Failure's not failure anymore, it's part of the journey. No, it's failure, Karen. You messed up. But we can't say that because that would hurt someone's self-esteem, and apparently that's the greatest crime of all. Forget truth, forget effort. The only thing that matters now is nobody's feelings get bruised. We used to care about reality, now we care about comfort. And it's funny, because the more people talk about progress, the less progress they actually make. We've been moving forward for 100 years and somehow ended up walking in circles. You ever watch people arguing about the same problems their grandparents argued about? They think they're changing the world, but really they're just rearranging the furniture on a sinking ship. You can't fix stupid by giving it a podium. But oh, we love pretending things are better. We're addicted to optimism. You can tell people the sky's falling. They'll say, well, at least it's a beautiful color. We can't face reality, so we decorate it. Everything's fine as long as it's got a slogan. We've replaced actual solutions with catchy phrases. We're working on it. We're raising awareness. Raising awareness is the new doing something. Nobody fixes problems anymore. They brand them. And you know what's even funnier? People think they're independent thinkers. They all say, I don't follow the crowd. Yeah, right? Everyone's rebelling in the exact same way. It's like watching a room full of identical rebels chanting, I'm unique. That's the punchline. Individuality's become a uniform. Everyone's trying to stand out, and they all look the same doing it. It's the same with opinions. Everyone's got one, and they think it's sacred. You can't question it. You can't debate it. It's a personal truth. There used to be just truth. Now there's personal truth. Emotional truth, convenient truth. Truth's got more versions than a pop album. People pick the one that fits their mood that day. And the media, oh, they're the ringmasters of this circus. Their job's not to inform, it's to entertain. They don't tell you what's true. They tell you what gets the most applause. Outrage sells. Confusion's profitable. They're not reporting anymore. They're producing. It's not the news. It's a soap opera with worse acting. And the audience eats it up. People don't want facts. They want drama. They don't want to understand. They want to react. It's like the whole planet's stuck in a sitcom with no laugh track, and nobody realizes it's supposed to be funny. Every week, a new disaster, a new scandal, a new distraction. And everyone says, can you believe this? Yes, yes, I can. This is what happens when you put entertainment before intelligence for a few hundred years. You get a society where everyone's tuned in but turned off. You want proof the world's gone nuts. Look at advertising. You can't even buy soap without it pretending to change your life. Everything's revolutionary, life-changing, transformative. It's soap, not salvation. You're not being reborn. You're just getting less dirty. They don't sell products anymore. They sell fantasies. Buy this and you'll be smarter, sexier, happier. Yeah. And if that doesn't work, buy the next one. Because there's always a next one. We're drowning in nonsense and we think it's depth. People talk about finding themselves like they're lost luggage. I'm trying to discover who I am. Maybe you're just boring. Maybe you don't need discovery. You need a hobby. But that's the world we live in. Everyone's a guru now. You can't swing a yoga mat without hitting someone who thinks they've unlocked the secrets of existence. Everyone's got advice and none of it works. And the thing is, it's not even malicious. It's just absurd. Everyone means well. They're just clueless. That's what makes it funny. It's not evil. It's idiotic. We've got geniuses inventing faster phones so people can send dumber messages. We've got brilliant engineers designing smarter machines for people who can't figure out door handles. The intelligence is there. It's just in the wrong place. We're evolving technologically, but devolving emotionally. It's progress with a punchline. And the education system, the government, the corporations, they're all part of the same comedy troupe, each one pretending to take the other seriously. They hold meetings, write reports, make announcements, and nothing changes. But they all pat each other on the back like they've done something monumental. We're addressing the issue. No, you're describing it louder. People treat leadership like it's a talent show. They don't vote for competence. They vote for charisma. I like how he talks. Great. Does he know what he's talking about? Who cares? He sounds confident. We're not electing thinkers. We're casting performers. The country's become one long talent competition. And the prize is the privilege of pretending to be in charge of the chaos. And then there's the economy, another masterpiece of comedy. It's based on the idea that infinite growth is possible on a finite planet. That's not economics, that's stand-up material. What can grow forever? Sure, and I can hold my breath indefinitely too. Everyone's pretending there's an endless supply of everything, as long as we don't count it. But don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, I'm entertained. It's hilarious. The absurdity is the only honest thing left. You can't take this stuff seriously anymore because the moment you do, you'll lose your mind. That's why laughter's so important. It's the only way to survive the stupidity. If you can't laugh at it, you'll drown in it. And the collapse isn't coming, it's already here. It's just disguised as convenience and comfort. It doesn't look like chaos, it looks like entertainment. People think the world's stable because the Wi-Fi's working. But underneath, everything's cracking. The foundations are crumbling while we argue about the color of the curtains. It's beautiful, really poetic justice. You ever think about how every empire, every great civilization thought they'd last forever? The Romans, the Egyptians, the British, they all thought they were permanent. And every single one of them ended up as a museum exhibit. What makes anyone think we're special? We're just the latest act in the same old play, only this time with better graphics. The names change, the costumes change, but the story stays the same. Humans take themselves too seriously, and the universe laughs. And maybe that's the secret. Maybe the whole point is to laugh. Because when you realize how ridiculous everything is, the pressure's off. You stop trying to make sense of nonsense. You stop pretending there's a plan. You just enjoy the show. You clap when it's funny, wince when it's dumb, and keep your popcorn handy. The collapse is the best entertainment money can't buy. So, yeah, everything's getting dumber, and that's the joke. But it's also the cure. Because when things get dumb enough, people start noticing. They wake up, if only for a second, and realize the comedy isn't on stage, it's in the mirror. That's when it hits you. Maybe the world didn't get funnier by accident. Maybe it's been funny all along, and we're just the last ones to get the punchline.